Welcome to the video for our Map Center website at Satshot.com. It's a training video showing you how to use the United States site. The Map Center site's our main portion of our web-based GIS map building site. Canada site is fairly similar. Go to the US site here, just clicking on the button. Under pre-designated username and password I have. If you would be wanting to get a password, just get a hold of us through email or calling, and can set you up with one, or as a agronomist too. There's a couple different ways to set up a login and password. Submit that login, and it'll bring you to main map view of North Dakota, which my username and password are set up to default to North Dakota. The first step here is searching by location. Search your area. The box on the side. Go to my county. If you wanted to change state, you could if you had something on the border. I'll go by township number. One thing that'll confuse people right away is they're used to the name of their township, but we don't have those names in here, just the number. So get out of location search. You can search by town too. You can also search by latitude and longitude, if you know those coordinates, which most people don't. Next part will be selecting farms and fields. And pre-designated, I set up as a dealer under myself at AgriImages. Same as consultant. Depending on who you are, if you are a consultant or a dealer, yours will be set up accordingly. And a grower just as a demo, and that would be yourself. Now a farm, I do have some farms already set up here, and I'll just show you how to add a farm. You go under farm editing, create farm. I will call it test demo ND. And that'll bring it up here. We'll select that. Now, I know my farm is in this general area, so I'm going to take the zoom button and the plus sign there. You click, hold, and drag, and then let go, and it will zoom to this area. Now, there's two ways to kind of find out where your field is. The first I would recommend is going to the NAPE background, which is a high resolution color image of your field, which you might see on many maps or Google Maps or other map based programs on a computer, and it'll show you a detailed aerial image of your area. And if you're very zoomed out, it might take a while to process and to show it, so the more zoomed in the better. So you can see in detail here how your fields are. There's the DOQ background too, which is black and white image, which you maybe are used to through FSA maps and other government agency maps. Now I know my field is right here, so I click and hold, bring up the square. I'm going to zoom in there. Now this is my field here. Now I've located that. So I'm going to turn off the color image by clicking the box. And the other way to search for your field is be selecting the clue boundaries, which is under farm editing. And that'll bring up the clue boundaries, the common land use boundaries from the FSA, which they put their own GPS coordinates in here, one out to each field. The other way you can add a boundary is you can upload a boundary from a GPS device with a shape, SHIX, and DBF file. You just download to your computer, browse for them, and add them, and then name them and save them. The other way is to draw a field, which would you would either go under a satellite resolution map or the high resolution nape background. Click a dot, send the draw there. Make a square of your boundary, as so. Around your field, you can move them by just pressing on the dot and moving around. You can delete them individually too by just pressing the delete button and then pressing on the dot that you used. And then you would save the field, name it, and that would pop up in the box as well. Get out of that here. We're just going to save this clue. So we're under the clue map layer here, and we don't have a field yet, so we need to add a field, which is by saving a clue as a field. Press the select button here. You select inside the clue boundary, and I know this is a fairly accurately close boundary to my actual fields that farm it. You might want to put the nape background or DOQ before the clues, depending on how you want to do it. Now it's here. I want to save the clue as a field. It's called the schoolhouse quarter. And that'll turn the border yellow. Now from here, you click on the fields layer, back again. There's these different layers here, but between these two, just between the field and clues, just go to field now. Press the select button again. Click with inside of it. And now the name of the field you name it will come up, and you could rename it, delete it as you would want. And it might take a while to refresh here. You can just delete out of this. If you went back, and refreshed it, click that again. Now the field will pop up there. And if you were logged out of the system and wanted to go back to it, you press zoom to select and then choose your field, and we'll zoom right down to it. I'll show you that at the end here. Now we're going to get into the analysis and the satellite image itself. First, what you want to do here is find the right image. We have a large image archive here, got from 99 to current 2008. Depending on your area, the L here is Landsat 5, which is 30 meter resolution. The LG is Landsat 7, which is also 30 meter resolution, but the image is a little skewed. It's got lines through it, which I'll show you here, which might show up depending on where your field is. You see these lines in here. There was something wrong with the camera after they launch it for a little bit, and certain parts of the image, if you're in the right area, the image will be fine. Most of it has these lines through it, and sometimes your field can kind of lay within the boundary here, but this one is a bad one. Plus it's in April, which is a little early. Usually you want to find an image at peak vegetative growth, so when it's green and ripe, not ripe, but right before it turns ripe. I'm going to try this August 13th, which is LN, which means Landsat nearest neighbor. It's another way the image is processed. Now this blue, you don't want blue. The redder, the better, is what I say. So you want it red, or like this. That shows vegetation. This shows as the field is ripe, or the rows have been closed in, which most likely this is a more ripened field. I believe there's pinto beans or barley on it. and some of the pinto beans I think is starting to turn, or it could be barley where it's starting to turn too. Most likely that or wheat. So I'm going to pick an earlier one from last year. If I can find one here. Try June 23rd. Which once again, that's a Landsat 7, which you usually can't make up one of those. Try this August 2nd. And it might take you a while to find the right image. You just have to look through them. Now this one's close. If you see up here, this field would be good because it's red. This one's already turned a little bit too, which the crop on there last year was barley. So I'm going to have to go to a 2006 image. And imagery gets updated there automatically. You're right here. Now this is a really good image here. Very red here. I know there's a slough here. So there's no vegetation there, just along the edges. So we're going to analyze this field. So you're under analysis mode, you got your image. You just press analyze image. And you wish to activate the field. From this point, it'll activate this field as this boundary for 1 year. Now sometimes the image, according to where the border is, can be skewed a little bit, off by a couple meters here or there. This one's pretty good, but sometimes you might want to adjust it left, right, up or down. As you go, you can adjust it by more too. Depending on your area, it might be fine, or you might have to adjust it a little bit. So I'm going to click Done Adjusting. And now this is going to process the image in NIR, near infrared. We also have NDVI red band and NDVI green band, which is more going to test for the greenness of the plant and partial nitrogen content. Now if you're using NDVI, you would want to use probably a little earlier image, one that's a little earlier in the season. But usually NIR, near infrared, is the best choice. Now it defaults to 31 zones automatically. So, but you're really seeing here there's only 5 or 6 zones. But 31 brings out the detail if you really want it. But what I recommend is going to 12 or so. Regenerate the zone map. That'll bring it to 12. So that's a pretty good depiction. You have some averages there. Now from here, I'd want to save it. Name it 12 zone, July 07, 06. And that'll save the base image that you have. You could make a custom zone map from here, create an export, or calculate economic data. I'm just going to get out of this right now. Just going to show you that's the basic part for getting onto the system, getting a field boundary, and now analyzing an image for a zone map. I'll be creating another video showing you how to get more in depth onto here, and that'll be the next video on here. Thank you.